Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are back with another brand new Star Ace Wonders of the Wild series release. As you can see, we've got ourselves the very much so anticipated Mosasaurus. I have been really looking forward to this one for quite a while. I have numerous of their aquatic species that they've released over time, as they have some really neat stuff out like a Dunkleosteus as well as a coelacanth and stuff. So I'm definitely hyped to take a look at their Mosasaurus. You can see the art on the front of the box looks really nice. Definitely a perfect image for a Mosasaurus. Over here on the side you can see another shot, as well as of course the species name, but a really nice shot of the Mosasaurus and the fact that again it's prehistoric creatures. Polyresin statue. Here on the back, some information on the Mosasaurus as well as the line itself. And then over here on the side, again, another shot of the Mosasaurus as well as a really beautiful shot up here on the top and the Wonders of the Wild series logo. So let's pop this box open and check it out. So there is our Mosasaurus model now unboxed and sitting here looking incredible, honestly. I think it looks super nice. Definitely one of the nicer Mosasaurus models that I have seen. Also a really cool diorama created here with the Mosasaurus kind of swinging down and coming after a shark of some kind, which I think is also really cool. And of course, when it comes to the Wonders of the Wild series models, you do get a nice nameplate over there with some information about the species, helping to create kind of like a really nice high quality museum-like display. So I'm going to readjust the camera and then we're going to jump straight into a closer look at this beauty. So starting at the head sculpt of the Mosasaurus, you can see it is really nicely sculpted, does feature some nice texturing throughout. We can also see some nice paint work, very smooth transitions. We've got kind of like a light grayish sort of a tone down here for the lower jaw. It moves up here to the upper jaw, but very quickly transitions to a darker gray. And again, you've got some really nice, if my camera focuses, really nice skin texture. There's also a little bit of like variation of color applied, just like, I don't even know how to term it, just like the slightest difference of color. I'm not sure if it's like a light wash that's been applied, but it does add another level of, color to the Mosasaurus, which is a really nice touch. We do have the mouth open, of course, as the Mosasaurus is coming down to attack that shark. We've got the tongue sculpted out inside the mouth, painted with like a dark purplish tone. We can also see the teeth all sculpted out individually and also painted nicely with a light tone, kind of like an off-white, and then hit with a brown wash. And then, of course, we do have the detail here on the inside of the mouth, which does feature the extra row of teeth in there, which are sculpted and painted the same way as all of the other teeth. We can also see, of course, the teeth on the upper jaw, all looking incredible. I think they look really, really nice and very lifelike. Star Ace did a great job on every aspect of the head and mouth of the Mosasaurus. The eyes, again, are painted nicely. There's a little variation of color with like an off-white and then a yellow and a black pupil in there, and that does also feature a gloss coat. I also like that it lightens back up here before transitioning again back to a darker tone of color, like a dark gray. And as you move along, of course, you're going to expect fairly smooth skin, but with a little bit of texturing, and that's exactly what you see here on this Mosasaurus. You can get a really good feel for the way that it looks as far as the skin texture, as well as, again, that kind of like light grayish wash that's been applied. You also have this lighter tone for the underside of the Mosasaurus, and it really nicely and very smoothly stripes up into the body, basically making it look like the lighter tone is striping up and the darker tone is striping down, which is very realistic and natural, I would say, for a Mosasaurus. As you move down, you've got a little bit of creasing up here on the top of the flipper. Then you lead out into the flipper itself, which also looks really good. You can kind of get a nice feel for the bone structure of the flipper as well. And again, the nice texturing throughout with pretty much the same style and coloration that we see up there on the upper part of the Mosasaurus with the mixtures of grays. And then we do see the lighter tone of the underbelly on the underside of the flippers. As you move it back again into the stomach, you see pretty much again the same style of skin texture. There you can really see how nice the skin texture looks on the Mosasaurus. Again, that super smooth kind of striping and patterning, which you can see from up above almost actually touches in certain areas. You do have a really small dorsal fin up here on the top of the Mosasaurus as well. As you lead back down, you've got a few skin wrinkles and folds leading back into the rear flipper. Again, you lead out into that flipper, and it looks pretty much as the front flipper did, same style of sculpt and paint. And then we lead out into the tail, and we do have more of a striping effect out here, and in fact it's at the point now where the coloration is completely separate, so you just have those light stripes and dark stripes as you lead out into the tail fin, which does also feature some of those stripes, which definitely adds a really nice but natural flashiness to the Mosasaur. And you can even see a little injury or two here as you move through the tail, as well as again more of that nice texturing. There's also a beautiful curve to the body, which you can really see when you look at it from behind as the Mosasaurus is swimming in, really showing off that swimming motion. When you look at the head on the opposing side, again, it looks gorgeous. Really nice texturing, very nice natural paint application, super smooth transitions. More skin wrinkles as you move down, again, into the lower part of the neck. Moving back, you start to see more of those stripes picking back up, again, leading through the body. You've got the really nice flipper and a few creases in the skin leading down into the flipper. You can even see a little bit more kind of like slight folding to the skin as you move back through the body. Again, the beautiful texturing and beautiful paintwork. I really love the way that they've painted this. It really does look genuine and lifelike. And then you lead back, again you've got the other flipper, and then you lead out of course into that beautiful tail with that really nice striping. And then as you lead along the underside, you can even see that we do have a cloaca present, and of course you've got a little variation of color to the underside. You do have like a light grayish tone, but you can see some really slight variation of color following along the side of the Mosasaurus leading down, as well as just generally really nice detail throughout. So the Mosasaurus is fantastic. You've also got the shark that is included, which is about to become the meal for our Mosasaurus. That as well looks really nice. I'm not entirely sure what species of shark it is. I'm not super familiar when it comes to prehistoric sharks, but you can see the nostrils sculpted out and highlighted with a darker tone, the eyes sculpted nicely, painted with a very nice glossy black, and they've given this kind of like some like a dark wash in a few areas, like helping to elaborate the mouth as well as the detail around it. Same deal as you move back into the gills, you can really see how they've been elaborated with a darker tone. And I think the paintwork of this is really nice and smooth as well. You've got basically like some bluish grays for the upper part of the body, but then a lighter tone as you move down here into the underside, and some really nice, very smooth transitions, very natural transitions as you move through the shark. I think the paintwork on this is honestly just as nice as we see on the Mosasaurus, and all of the fine detail is really nicely applied to the shark as well. You can very clearly see that it does have a really nice curve to the body as it's kind of swimming. It's basically in the process of turning at this point as the Mosasaurus is leading in to grab a hold of it. And then as you move over here, you'll see again how nice the shark looks from both sides. Of course, it's not going to look too different from one side to the other, but I really love the way that the paint has been applied. And again, the very nice smooth transitions, but you can also see like darker variations of color that have been added here and there to the figure overall. Again, really beautiful addition to the overall scene. And then you've got the base, and the base is absolutely fantastic. We've got a really nice kind of like a ocean floor, of course, setting for the base. Beautiful texturing, really nice slight variation of color throughout. And as you move up, you have all sorts of different types of coral and everything that you would see on the ocean floor, all sorts of different shades of color, really nicely painted. Like right here, you could see again variations of whites and yellows, and again dry brushing techniques that have been used to really highlight all of the detail of the base as you move through. Honestly, as you continue to lead through, it just seems to get more and more impressive as you go, which I think is just absolutely spectacular. And it might be one of the most impressive bases that I've seen from the Wonders of the Wild series so far. You can even see really slight variations of like greens and browns and stuff showing up as you continue to move through the base. It does have a pretty long shape to it, has kind of like a long wavy shape overall, and as you continue to move through, you do see the peg where you would place the shark. You see some more as far as our ocean floor goes as you lead along, and again all sorts of color, making this look really spectacular overall and really flashy. It definitely stands out, no doubt about that. As you lead along, man, look at how nice this is, and not only how nice it is, but how precise everything is painted. There is like zero sloppiness that I can see when it comes to the paintwork, and the sculpt again is off the charts. You do have information on the underside, of course, Wonders of the Wild series and Mosasaurus from Star Ace and X+. So it looks fantastic, but of course it looks even better once the Mosasaurus and shark are back on it. So let's go ahead, reapply them, and then get a size. So once everything is applied, as far as the size of our Mosasaurus goes, from the snout to the tail of our Mosasaurus, you're looking at about 16 inches or about 40.5 centimeters. I was going to say a little over 40 centimeters, but it's probably closer to 40.5. To the top of the tail fin, just shy of 9 inches or around 22.5 centimeters. And then if we go for a length of the entire diorama from the far side of the base to the tail, you're looking at, I'd say, about 19.25 inches or around 49 centimeters. So pretty big for sure. And then as far as our shark goes, we'll have to readjust the camera here because it's down here pretty far. But for a length from the tail to the head, I would say about 5.25 inches or around 13.5 centimeters. For a size comparison, here is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect Day Human Being next to our Star Ace Mosasaurus, and as you can see, it definitely has some very nice size to it, no doubt about that. But for another comparison, here is a size comparison next to the PNSO Mosasaurus. I felt like it would probably be easiest to just kind of look at it from up above. You can see that the PNSO Mosasaurus is definitely a little bit smaller than the Star Ace version. We've also got just a few random aquatic species. Here is the Schleich Elasmosaurus, which we can see is quite a bit smaller. We also have the PNSO Chronosaurus, which you can see, of course, is a good bit smaller. And then this shark does have a little backup with the larger vinyl version of the PNSO Megalodon. Then a few recent favorites, as we have the Chronosaurus from Papo, again a lot smaller. And you'll see exactly the same situation, not quite as small compared to the other Mosasaurus, but we have the Papo Mosasaurus here, showing you that again it is significantly smaller than this Star Ace version. And we've even got the brand new Schleich Megalodon, which you can see again, definitely not nearly as large as this Mosasaurus, at least as far as length goes. So this brand new Star Ace Wonders of the Wild series Mosasaurus statue is absolutely beautiful. I think they did a great job on this, as they usually do, and I think honestly when it comes to the Wonders of the Wild series, they have yet to have anything even close to a bad release. Everything has just been so stellar the entire way through, and far and away some of the best statues that I have in my collection, completely killing it every single time with every release. And I think that is exactly the same case with this Mosasaurus. Overall, sculpt-wise, it's beautiful. It has lots of really nice fine detail and is extremely impressive as far as the pose and fine detail goes. I think they've also done a great job on the paint apps, looking really nice and smooth and natural, adding in variation of color and really nice like slight washes and slight variation of color, super smooth patterns and stuff moving through. It looks really, really good. And of course, the beauty doesn't end there, because as you move through, you've got an absolutely incredible base with so many different colors and so much impressive fine detail throughout, and that does lead all the way over to the scene taking place with the Mosasaurus about to grab itself a meal, which unfortunately for the shark is a really nice looking shark. Sculpt-wise, the shark looks very nice, and again, color-wise, it also looks really good. I think they did a good job on the paintwork and realism of the shark as well. So, without a doubt, this is a very much so big recommendation from me. I definitely think anybody that has a collection of marine reptiles or aquatic life would absolutely love having this in their collection. So if you are interested, I will include a link in the description to where you can purchase this right now from Big Bad Toy Store, and I will include a link to Sideshow as well if it's still available there. So make sure you check those links. Definitely pick this up, and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.